And I was like, sweetie, I can't go on like this. Like, this marriage cannot happen.
So it's super difficult, but you know, there's some days you feel amazing, some days you don't.
Being friends, how do you have this conversation about, okay, we're gonna have to kiss each other?
I was literally living on my friend's sofa bed in his living room because I just got kicked out of where I was living.
The carriage scene.
I could let my family watch that. I think I'm all right with that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Look at Nicola, how are you guys?
Oh, good, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, and I'm so happy to see you. You have no idea what a fan I am, and the problems in my marriage that had been caused by Bridgerton.
Oh no, tell us.
Oh yes,
tell
yes,
us.
yes. It all started actually on season 2. Literally, I hit pause, and I was like, sweetie, I can't go on like this. Like, this marriage cannot happen. And he's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, sweetie, we've been married already for 15 years. We're never gonna feel that anymore. I mean, is this the end of us?
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Also, it's Bridgerton's very heightened.
Yeah.
Also, we're all wearing wigs, and you know what I mean. Yeah,
That is
it's
brilliant.
all don't worry.
Okay, so between season 2 and early season 3, I mean, I've had a chance to see the first 4 episodes. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody. There's so many ways that we can have this conversation, but the thing I'm going to say, growing up, Nicola, if there's something that I can connect with you is, I also always felt unseen.
Right. Okay.
And when I went through my whole process of trying to understand how to truly love myself, and I think that's the reality right now for so many women out there that can connect with what Penelope is gonna go through.
For sure. It's, you know what, it's a real privilege to play her. Because so many people feel like that, not just women. I mean, it's really hard. Like, the world is a tough place, and I think with social media and, you know, there's like online dating where people purely get judged on their appearance, and in some ways it doesn't even matter what she looks like, and we see that when she has this sort of transformation but then realizes she's not transformed on the inside at all. And it's what I love about her actual transformation on the show is a gradual transformation of loving herself and becoming comfortable in her skin.
Okay, let's get a little bit more personal. Has it been the same for you in your life?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a woman, like, you know, it's very hard. And I'm a woman in the public eye, which is another level of hard. So it's super difficult. But, you know, there's some days you feel amazing, some days you don't. And it is what it is. And you just got to roll with it.
Absolutely. I'm going with you, Luke, in a second. Just let me get through Nicola.
I'm happy. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, I would love, because, you know, what I talk about a lot on my show and with the audience is, you know, growing up and trusting the process and trusting where and how your life is going. And from 2017 to 2024, I need you to give us the summary of what happened in your life, what you were doing then, what you were thinking then, because there's so many people out there thinking, you know, I'm never gonna be anybody, I'm never gonna make it, and this is never gonna work out for me, and I have no idea where I'm going. And I think you have such a great personal story.
Yeah, so 2017, I was working part-time in an optician's back home in Galway, where I'm from. I was living with my parents, and I got an open audition for a play in London. I got the play. A year later, it got put on. I signed with my agent. Then I got a show called Dairy Girls. And then after Dairy Girls, I got Bridgerton. So it sounds very quick when I say it like that, but it wasn't in reality. Yeah. But yeah, so my life has changed a hell of a lot since then, but I still feel the exact same. That's the thing. I'm sure it's the same for you.
Yeah.
And also, I've known you like throughout this whole thing.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
you don't change who you are. It's just the circumstances around you.
Yeah, totally
change.
You were both thinking, and that I want to hear how this process has been for you as well,
Yeah.
because I mean, Bridgerton has been amazing for everybody, career-wise. And I imagine you thinking, you know, is this gonna work? Is this acting thing going to work out for me? Where is my career going? And then suddenly, you find yourself here.
Yeah, I was working on a bar, and
I can't believe the optician store and the bar.
I was literally living on my friend's sofa bed in his living room because I just got kicked out of where I was living. And then I got the call, and obviously at the time I didn't know what to expect, but now when you put it like that and I break down like those moments, I feel like I did have a moment when I was auditioning of just being like, I've just got to keep doing this and something will drop. And I say that to a lot of my actor friends. It's just like, if it's what you truly want to do, keep doing it, and as long as it takes. And I think I had that mentality of like, if this takes a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, I'll just keep auditioning, I'll keep working on the bar, I'll keep staying on my friend's sofa bed, and eventually something will drop, because the chances are in my favor if I keep auditioning every single week.
But also you need what you have, which is a positive attitude.
Yeah.
And a lot of actors don't have it, and that is the death of careers, of just being defeatist. Because you're going to get so many rejections.
Yeah.
I still get rejected all the time. I don't know if you do, but
all the
it's
time.
really common.
Yeah.
So you got to just make your peace with it. Yeah.
Okay, so in real life, guys, you are friends. So let's talk about the kiss. And I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I mean, that scene, I was like jumping out of my seat. Like I had to pause the television to get a hold of myself. And I'm like, is this happening? Is this not happening? I've been so invested in your relationship. So being friends, how do you have this conversation about, okay, we're gonna have to kiss each other. How are we gonna come about this?
It's super scary. I found like weirdly the kiss one of the scariest. Considering all the stuff we did after that, it's wild. But I think because in that moment you had to feel the chemistry between them, and the switch of the dynamic between Pen in that moment gives up, and then Colin in that moment sees her for the first time as a woman. So there was so much riding on that moment. But then we watched it back, we were like, it's beautiful. Because you don't know if you're an ugly kiss. You're like, what if I watch it and I'm like, ugh. But I was like, oh, it's a really pretty kiss. Yeah. It's really nice.
It was the first thing we ever got to see of the whole show.
Yeah, it was.
It was?
Yeah.
I mean, but did you practice kissing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
did.
Our intimacy coordinator like got us together. I think it was the day of.
It was right before. It was in my trailer.
Yeah.
So we had a little, like teenagers, they had a practice kiss before they.
What is it called? The intimacy coordinator?
Yeah.
And what does that person do? Like, what does that person do? Like,
I mean, many things. It's sort of a little bit like a stunt coordinator, but a lot of it is about like, what do you feel comfortable with? What do you want to show? What do you want to... They have like beats in a scene that they want to hit, but I think because we'd known Lizzie, who's worked from season 1 up to now, and she's so easy to work with. That makes it very unintimidating. But like, we wanted to make the scenes like feel intimate and sexy and funny and real, and they gave us a lot of leeway to do what we wanted to do, which I think really has paid off in the final edit.
Okay, and so let's go back to the practice. So it was like, do you, or how is it?
I think it was like that. We talked about pacing, really, like the timing of it, and like how many seconds. Or
it did feel like school. It felt like when you arranged to kiss a boy behind the shed. I'm gonna meet you in your trailer. We'll have a kiss.
But it's good having the intimacy coordinator, because they take the pressure off of the director needing to like facilitate all of the things that we've requested from a scene or whatever. So they'll be there and they'll say, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do, and then the director can focus on shots and the whole day ahead, and we can like feel safe and secure and
Oh my God! Now you are from a Catholic, Irish, very conservative family. So how did that work?
Not that conservative, I think. Just there's a lot of Irish Catholics.
Okay, so tell everybody about the racy scenes, because we've seen so many racy scenes on season.
Yes.
We've seen nipples, we've seen butts, we've seen bed scenes. How did you come about that? Because we haven't gotten there, or what I've seen, but there's something very interesting in your contract, I understand.
I just found out that it's not in my contract. I was so confident saying it was, and they were like, girl, no it isn't. I was like, what? I found that out like yesterday. And it is not in your contract, girl. So I'm just gonna have to learn how to fast forward really effectively. I've seen a lot now, and I do not want to watch that with my family. Like, I just don't. I feel like it gets
very intimate.
It's too intimate. It's not even like, it's not like a quick, like it's a long thing. I just can't be doing it.
I think I'm the same.
Guys, the carriage scene, I was like dying.
That seems tame in comparison.
Yeah, I think I could let them, I could let my family watch that. I think I'm all right with that.
Are you?
Yeah.
What are you saying? There's more to come after that?
Yeah, there's a lot more to come after that.
Oh, you're giving me life. You're giving me something to live for tomorrow. Something very interesting with Colin, Luke, is I think it happened also with Anthony and Jonathan, is how the whole team decides to show the character in a more mature manner. And so tell us the growth process of Colin, because he went abroad, he came back, this very swampy, sexy Casanova.
I feel like he went away and he had the experience that he wanted when he went traveling previously. Like he finally got that sort of like the lad's holiday that he always dreamed of. And I feel like it's that thing when, you know, young lads go away for the summer from school and then they come back and they're 6'4" with a beard and their voices drop.
Well, you look fantastic.
It really felt like he was just come back as this completely new version of him. So it was fun to work with all the different departments. And I actually remember the premiere for season 2, we were at the drinks afterwards, and Erica, who's our hair and makeup designer, she came up to me and said, right, what do we want to do? Are you going to grow your hair from now? Are you going to grow sideburns in? I'll meet you in a few weeks and we'll discuss from there. It literally was like the focus shifted straight away, and we were on it and just preparing. And yeah, I'd had like some ideas of what I wanted, and then we talked about we played so many different versions before we even got onto set. So then by the time we got there, we felt like, yeah, we're really happy with the decision of like his new look and his new swagger.
Well, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, Nicola, how was a transformation for season 3 for you, for Penelope?
Do you know what? It was a really like emotional experience, which I know might sound silly or funny to people, but I think in season 1, the late great Mark Pilcher, who designed our hair and makeup for that season, he said, I remember him saying to me, oh yeah, the brief we had for you is dowdy. And I was like, oh, okay. So I knew I needed to look like a little like ruddy cheeked and the really curly hair and the crazy yellow dresses. But she was like a little girl. So I was like, yeah, let's go with that. And then by the time it came to season 3, she needed to feel like a woman and I needed to feel like a woman in those clothes because, you know, you can't imagine season 1 Pen doing those scenes, or you certainly wouldn't want to. So, it like trying on those dresses for the first time, and you know, them having such like a beautiful feminine cut, and just the soft fabrics and the layering of everything, and then the wigs being so like beautiful and soft and like romantic. It just like, it makes you feel completely different.
We text each other when we were getting ready, like when we'd have our fittings.
Yeah.
We'd send each other like a little picture, like preview pic, and it was kind of like helping us figure out what was happening story-wise, because this is before we had scripts.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
we'd
yeah.
be like, I'd see you in a new colour dress and I'd be like, okay, so she's going and you wear that. And then I'd have like my pirate jacket and you'd be like, oh, he's coming back from, like, we were figuring it out as we went. It was really fun.
That's amazing. But let me tell you something. I am extremely worried about you, Nicola, Eloise, Lady Whistledown, and if this could probably ruin your future marriage.
Well,
it could. That's the thing. She's like, you know, girl, she gets herself in such a hot mess and she can't help. I feel for her because you have to try and put it in your own terms, like, you know, just like, I guess, empathy 101. You're like, if it were me, what would it be? And it was like, if someone was like, you get to marry the love of your life, but you can never act again, I would lose my mind. I go, no, like it, you know, you should be able to have both things. But at that time, women really couldn't.
Of course.
And also the only way she felt she could do it in the beginning was to do it secretly.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's in such a bind, but then there's times where she gets really headstrong with it.
And we'll see that. Well, I'm very happy, guys, to see the rest of it because I'm also, you know, connecting with the fact that so many women out there also have such a hard time with their families. And I mean, your mother doesn't see you. And I'm like, oh my God, she's crying and you don't even get a hug.
But I think actually for the second half of the season, I really love the relationship that Penelope and Lady Featherington have together, because I've always felt since season 1 that they're far more similar than they are dissimilar, and they can't see that themselves. But they're so, like, all that grit and determination Penelope has comes from her mom.
Yeah.
And she has to start realizing that. Yeah.
And we start to see why Lady Featherington has been the way she is. Like, she sort of opens up slightly.
Yeah, and you get to see a softer side of Lady Featherington with the Bridgertons, which is so funny.
Really nice.
I love it.
Well, let me tell you from the bottom of my heart, truly, truly, not because you're here, I adore Bridgerton. It's been life-changing, at least for my marriage.
Oh.
In a good way, in a good way.
Good.
Yeah,
Great.
good.
Yeah. Gotta get yourself in a carriage, girl.
Absolutely, I got to get myself in a carriage with my hubby. Thank you so much. I send you a big kiss to both of you. And the best of luck today and tomorrow and in the future.
Thank you so much. See you.
Dearest gentle reader, we have been apart for far too long.
I cannot live at home any longer. I must take a husband.
If a husband is what you seek, let me help you. Are we not friends?
Friends.